Revelation chapter 17 begins the third of four visions in this book. In chapter 17, verse 3, we are told for the third time that John was in the Spirit. We are about to be introduced to two additional characters, the great prostitute, or harlot, as some English versions render it, and the scarlet beast. I want you to notice what John is told in verse 1. He isn't told, "Come and I will show you the great prostitute." Rather, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute." Her fate is sealed. Here's Revelation chapter 17, verse 18. "And the woman that you saw is the great city that has dominion over the kings of the earth." This is helping us to identify who is this great prostitute. Do you remember back in chapter 14 when the second of three angels said, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great"? That exact phrase is used in chapter 18, verse 2. The great prostitute, who is otherwise known as Babylon the Great, is introduced in chapter 17. And no sooner after making her grand entrance, she is destroyed. There was a literal empire called Babylon, and prophets such as Jeremiah predicted its destruction. Like Babylon of old, Revelation's Babylon is destroyed, and when she is, her death is mourned by the kings of the earth and by the merchants of the earth. I want to read with you the dirge describing her demise at the close of chapter 18. And as I do, let's emphasize the words, "no more." They appear 6 times in verses 21 through 23. "Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, 'So will Babylon the great city be thrown down with violence, and will be found no more. And the sound of harpists and musicians, of flute players and trumpeters will be heard in you no more. And a craftsman of any craft will be found in you no more. And the sound of the mill will be heard in you no more. And the light of a lamp will shine in you no more. And the voice of bridegroom and bride will be heard in you no more.'" Who mourns the death of the great prostitute? According to chapter 18, the kings of the earth and the merchants of the earth. Okay? Who rejoices over the death of the great prostitute? The great multitude in chapter 19, verses 1 and 2. After this, after the dirge, mourning her death, John says, "I heard what seemed to be the loud voice of a great multitude in heaven crying out, 'Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and power belong to our God, for his judgments are true and just. For he has judged the great prostitute who corrupted the earth with her immorality and has avenged on her the blood of his servants.'" The great prostitute, otherwise known as Babylon the Great, was an economic powerhouse that defied God and literally killed Christians in the first century. And it was destroyed. In chapter 19, beginning in verse 11, John describes the defeat of the sea beast, the earth beast, and the dragon. Jesus is the rider on the white horse described here in verse 16. He is the King of kings and Lord of lords, and he has been victorious over the sea beast and the earth beast, otherwise known as the false prophet. "And I saw the sea beast and the kings of the earth with their armies gathered to make war against him who was sitting on the horse," that's Jesus, "and against his army. And the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet, the earth beast. These two were thrown alive into the lake of fire that burns with sulfur." Well, now the dragon is all alone. And what happens to him? Here's Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. "And the angel seized the dragon, that ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. Now the dragon, Satan, is going to be released after the 1,000 years. Many people take this to be a literal 1,000-year period, a millennium. I do not. 1,000 denotes completion. And Satan has been thoroughly defeated in his effort to use the sea beast and the earth beast to destroy the church, God's covenant people. I believe this is referring to Satan's manipulation of the Roman Empire, which was destroyed. All right, does this mean Satan gives up? In fact, no. He tries again and again and again. Let's read Revelation chapter 20, verses 7 through 10. And this describes the ultimate and final defeat of Satan and his minions, whoever they are and whenever they are. And when the 1,000 years are ended, Satan will be released from his prison and will come out to deceive the nations. Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. Oh no, their number is like the sand of the sea. And they marched up over the broad plain of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. But fire came down from heaven and consumed them. And the devil who had deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast, hello there, sea beast, and the false prophet were, hello there, earth beast, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Revelation chapter 20 closes with the great white throne scene and the judgment of all. The third major vision of Revelation isn't quite finished. Chapter 21, verses 1 through 8, describe the new heaven and the new earth. These words originally appeared in Isaiah chapter 65, and they denote a new world order. Satan and death have been completely defeated. Do you remember when I emphasized the words no more when talking about the destruction of Babylon the Great in Revelation chapter 18? That's because they're used again here in chapter 21 when describing the new heaven and the new earth. God will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be, here it is, no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away. Today, please read Revelation chapter 17 through chapter 21, verse 8, the third vision of Revelation.